What drives a person to commit the unthinkable? How does a family's ordinary night turn into a tragedy that shakes an entire community? The Darby family massacre isn't just a crime story. It's a chilling tale of betrayal, grief, and the relentless pursuit of justice. But beneath the headlines lies a web of secrets, heartbreak, and unanswered questions. As we uncover the events leading up to that fateful night, prepare to see how a family's worst nightmare became a nationwide call for justice. The Darby family. The Darby family was the picture of small-town happiness. Living in the quiet town of Willow Creek, they were known for their warmth, kindness, and community spirit. John Darby, a dedicated father and respected local businessman, ran the family hardware store that had served the town for generations. His wife, Sarah, was a beloved schoolteacher whose passion for education touched the lives of countless children. Together, they were raising their two children, Emma, a bright and artistic teenager, and little Noah, whose laughter could light up any room. Neighbors often described the Darby home as a place filled with love and laughter. From weekend barbecues in the backyard to holiday gatherings that brought the community together, the family seemed to embody everything good about small-town life. Yet, beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. Cracks that no one could see until it was too late. The night of the tragedy. It was a chilly autumn evening when the unimaginable happened. The air carried the faint scent of fallen leaves, and the distant hum of crickets echoed through the night. Inside the Darby home, the family had just finished dinner. Emma was upstairs finishing her homework, while Noah played with his favorite toy truck near the fireplace. John and Sarah sat together, enjoying a quiet moment after a long day. But what began as a peaceful night would soon descend into horror. At 11:27 p.m., a frantic 911 call shattered the silence. The voice on the other end was trembling, barely able to form words. "Please, help us. They're inside." The line went dead. Within minutes, sirens pierced the night as police and emergency services raced to the scene. When they arrived, the sight that greeted them was beyond comprehension. The once cozy home was now a crime scene marked by shattered glass and overturned furniture. The air was thick with a silence that felt almost suffocating. As officers moved through the house, their worst fears were confirmed. John, Sarah, and Noah had all been brutally attacked. Only Emma, injured but alive, was found clinging to consciousness in her bedroom. The investigation begins. News of the Darby family massacre spread like wildfire. Willow Creek, a town where people rarely locked their doors, was suddenly gripped by fear. The local police force, unaccustomed to such violence, faced immense pressure to solve the case quickly. Detectives combed through the house, collecting every piece of evidence they could find: fingerprints, footprints, and traces of DNA. Yet, the crime scene offered more questions than answers. Initial theories ranged from a random home invasion to a targeted attack. However, nothing seemed to fit. The Darby family had no known enemies, no financial troubles, and no involvement in anything suspicious. As detectives delved deeper, they began to suspect that the answer might lie closer to home. The key to solving the case, they believed, rested with the sole survivor, Emma. Recovering in the hospital, Emma was haunted by the memories of that night. Her eyes, once filled with youthful innocence, now carried the weight of unimaginable trauma. When detectives gently asked her to recount what had happened, her voice trembled as she spoke. She remembered hearing strange noises downstairs, footsteps that didn't belong. At first, she thought it might be her father checking the locks. But as the sounds grew louder, fear began to take hold. Moments later, chaos erupted. Shouts, crashing furniture, and her mother's desperate cries echoed through the house. Emma had barely locked her bedroom door before it was kicked open. The masked figure loomed over her, but in the struggle that followed, she managed to break free, collapsing near the window as darkness consumed her. Her description of the intruder was chilling. Tall, dressed in black, with piercing eyes that seemed devoid of humanity. Yet despite her detailed account, identifying the attacker proved challenging. No fingerprints matched any known offenders, and the footprints led nowhere. The case seemed to hit a dead end. Weeks turned into months, and frustration mounted as leads grew cold. The town's sense of safety had vanished, replaced by locked doors and wary glances. Just when it seemed that justice might never come, a breakthrough emerged from the most unexpected source. During a routine review of surveillance footage from nearby homes, detectives noticed a figure moving through the shadows just minutes before the attack. The grainy image was difficult to decipher, but one detail stood out: a distinctive tattoo on the suspect's wrist. The symbol was quickly traced to a known local troublemaker named Eric Caldwell, a former classmate of John Darby's, whose life had taken a darker path. Confronted with the evidence, Caldwell initially denied any involvement. His alibi seemed airtight, until investigators discovered inconsistencies in his timeline. A search of his home uncovered clothing that matched Emma's description, along with items belonging to the Darby family. Yet, the motive remained unclear. What could drive someone to such brutality against a family with no apparent connection to their assailant? Uncovering the truth. As the trial approached, shocking details began to emerge. Witnesses came forward, revealing that Caldwell had harbored a long-standing grudge against John Darby. Years earlier, a business dispute had led to Caldwell's financial ruin, leaving him consumed by resentment. His anger, festering over time, had twisted into a desire for revenge, one that ultimately culminated in the unthinkable. But the most heart-wrenching revelation came from Emma herself. During her testimony, she bravely confronted Caldwell, her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. "You took everything from us," she said, her words cutting through the courtroom's heavy silence. "But you will not take my strength. I will carry my family's love with me, and I will make sure their story is never forgotten." Justice served. In the end, the jury's verdict was swift and unanimous, guilty on all counts. Caldwell was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he would never again walk free. For the town of Willow Creek, the verdict brought a sense of closure, though the scars of that night would never fully fade. Emma, determined to honor her family's memory, became an advocate for victims of violent crime. Through her courage and resilience, she transformed her grief into a force for change, helping others find hope in the darkest of times. The Darby family massacre is a story of unimaginable loss, but also of the human spirit's power to endure. It reminds us that even in the face of tragedy, justice can prevail, and hope can emerge from the darkest of nights. As Emma's story continues to inspire others, the legacy of her family lives on, a testament to the strength that lies within us all. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more true crime stories that reveal the truth behind the headlines. Until next time, stay safe and never stop seeking justice.